Alrighty guys, welcome to the video for the review for numbers 18 through 23A. So this should say 23A, and this is 23A. I'm doing 6 problems. It's at the top of, I believe, the 3rd page. Okay. So it says transform each quadratic parent function using a value of 4. Okay, so if we look at our rules from acquire 4, we have all these different rules. So we can use these in order to make our graphs. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. It says f of x minus c. So we're going to look here. We're going to look, okay, what kind of shift is that? Well, x minus c in parentheses is going to be a shift to the right. So I need a shift to the right. A shift right. And by a factor, by a value of what? 4. So I need to shift right 4. So I'm going to transform this. This is my parent function, remember. All 6 of these are my parent function, so that is the base function of quadratics. So my new function needs to be shifted to the right 4. And when you shift, you always shift your vertex, which is where the quadratic changes direction. So it's going down, it's going up. So this is my vertex. I need to shift that to the right 4. So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then I would draw it looking just like this. And I could even do specific points. I could shift over this point. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could shift over this point. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could even shift over to 4. So I could shift over this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I could connect my dots. Okay? So that is my new graph. It has been shifted to the right 4. Right? This would be x minus 4. So my equation for this would be f of x equals x squared be x minus 4 squared, right? That'd be my equation. But this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the graph. Okay? Now this one, it says plus d. So let's take a look at what that would be. If you look here, plus d is going to be a shift up. And it says I need to use a value of 4. So I'm going to have a shift up 4. Again, when I do a shift, I always shift my vertex. So I'm going to move this vertex up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could move this point up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move this point up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that should be enough for me to draw a quadratic. Okay, so my new quadratic would be a shift up 4 because it's plus d. Again, I got these from these rules, plus d. Here it says plus c, but it's inside the parentheses. So again, I'm going to look at my rules. F of x plus c is a shift to the left. A shift to the left, in this case, by 4. So I'm going to shift left 4. Shift to the left 4. So I would start at my vertex. I'd go over 1, 2, 3, 4. I could even do these points. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I could even do 2, 4. So like this is a point right here, and I could go over 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a point right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I would connect my points. Okay, this is a shift left 4. Shift right, shift up, shift left. Now let's look at this one, negative f of x. So if I look, okay, where do I see negative f of x here? Right here. So I need a reflection. My graph needs to look like this. Okay, so it needs to flip over the x-axis. So if this is what my graph looks like right now, a reflected graph, right, because of that negative, I need to move everything over. So the vertex is going to stay the same, but I could move 1, 1 and make it 1, negative 1. Negative 1, 1, move it over here. Right? And then my new graph is going to be a reflection like this. So this is negative f of x because it's on the outside. If it was on the inside, nothing would have happened. Okay, this is a reflection. So shift right, shift up, shift left. Reflection. This is a reflection. Let me write that. Reflection. Okay, now this one, again, we look at our rules, f of x minus d. Minus d is a shift down. So I would write a shift down. This would be minus d. This is a shift down, and again, it's always a value of 4. So I'm going to shift down 4. So I would go down 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a point. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a point. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I can connect these dots. Make sure that when you draw it, it's as smooth as possible. Don't just draw a straight line. Okay? So it should be like that. That's minus 4. Shift down 4. Okay, now this is the very last one. We'll call it 23a. Let's take a look at what this one would be. It says a times f of x when a is greater than 1. So a times f of x when a is greater than 1, it's steeper. Okay, so if it's going to be steeper, right, because it's a of f of x, steeper by a factor of a equals 4. So we know it's going to be, so if it's going to be steeper, we could draw just a simple graph that's inside this one, right? Because we know it needs to be inside if it's going to be steeper. But what I just did was I went ahead and graphed what this would look like on the calculator, because my equation will be f of x equals 4x squared, right? If my parent function is f of x equals x squared, putting an a out in front of it, right, would bring 4 right there. So f of x equals 4x squared would be my graph. I went ahead and graphed that in my calculator. F of x equals 4x squared. Let me see the glare. $4x squared, right? And then I did Control T to get a table. So I can actually be more specific when I make my graph. I could be -1 up 4, 0, 0, 1, 4. So I know specifically that it's going to go through those points. It's going to be steeper by a factor of 4, of a equals 4. So it's going to be 4x squared, and that's going to be my graph. So you've kind of seen everything here. You've seen a right, up, left, reflection, down, and then this was steeper specifically, right? So that about covers it. Basically, what it comes down to is using your rules from Acquire 4 to figure out what you need to do. But you need to memorize these. You got to know these. Okay? And that is it.